the other interesting thing I found was you start to realise who you actually enjoy spending time with when you're not intoxicated. How many kilos have you gained recently?
About 11 kilos in 3 weeks.
That's excessive. I don't want to play Lego with you right now. I'm experimenting with having sex for the first time. When you got tied up and
I got tied up
with the belt,
dominated, all that shit.
If you're on visual, you're doing that.
I could see myself getting fucked here.
Sounds like a gay book.
Yeah, I was about to say. There's a guy who's been.
Can I have a go on one of those?
Would you want these?
Yeah, what's that?
It's a coffee 3000.
Oh, shit. A
They're not super
Tumbo.
strong, they're just nice.
A Turbo Jumbo 3000.
Turbo Jumbo.
That sounded so disgusting.
It's delicious.
Horrific.
Charged.
He's charged up and ready. Welcome back, chaps, to the pod. Here with my boy Bill, my boy Tom. Bill, I've known since I started my business. Met you in Koh Samui.
2 years now.
2 years we've known each other.
Best 2 years of your life.
That's true. Best 2 years of my life, without a doubt. All thanks to Bill. And we met in a hostel.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
When we first got to Koh Samui, we had no money. And I mean no money. Like, if we spent 500 baht, which is about $12, because occasionally we get caught on the motorbikes without our helmets. And if we got a 500 baht fine, that was a big deal.
That hurt.
$12 fucking hurt. So we'd go every day. There was this guy that we knew in a hostel. We never stayed there. But did you stay there?
I had a room there for the first couple of days because I only went to Koh Samui because I was in Phuket and I didn't know anyone. I was just by myself, just drinking. And I matched with this girl on Bumble. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Koh Samui." I was like, "Cool, me too now."
I'm coming.
No, she didn't. She didn't invite me. She was like, "Oh, I'm going to stay at this hostel." Apparently, it's a good recommendation. So I booked a private room there, and then we got friends with the owner.
Yeah, we used to go there every night and eat this food because we could get it for $5, and he'd make us 2 chicken breasts with a massive portion of rice and broccoli. And we ate that every night for months on end. 7
nights a week. It was like a family dinner. So essentially they'd run it so all the hostel people could meet each other. Everyone has like the same meal. Like they would do like different Thai food or different Western food every night.
Yeah.
So there'd be like, it was all long benches. So there'd be like 30 people, travelers, backpackers, all having like pad Thai or like fried rice or red curry. And then me and Jack at the end with chicken, rice and broccoli.
Me and you at the end with our same meal every night. Absolutely fucking huge because we were gymming every day, getting a tan. We basically just worked at gym.
What was that, 50 baht? How much were you paying for each?
We were paying 200 baht.
200 baht.
Like $5 or £5, which was what we paid this guy. Or maybe it was less.
I'm sure it was like
120.
Yeah.
Anyway, we used to sit there and that's how me and Bill got to know each other. And the beautiful thing about this hostel was they would have a new influx of mostly female traveling guests. So every night we'd have dinner with a new bunch of 15 to 20 traveling women. And obviously the majority of traveling women are not for us, not what we'd be interested in, a bit stinky, but occasionally, in between the stinkers and the porkers, the English, they're the worst. And we'd find a diamond in the rough. So that was pretty fun. We used to go there. We never drank. We didn't drink any alcohol. And we'd just go there. We'd chat to some girls and we'd take them down to this Rasta bar with this Rastafarian guy. And we played pool there with him and then build Jenga.
Yeah, the Jenga got pretty serious at times, really.
Jenga's a block game where you build with wooden blocks. And I'd had this move that I used to pull to get girls where I would get them to build a tower out of Jenga blocks. And I would say that I could tell their personality. I could tell who they were as a woman if they built this Jenga, because every Jenga tower is unique. Nobody builds Jenga in the same way. And once they build their towers, I go, wow, that's incredible. I've never seen a tower like that before. You're an amazing woman. And they go, really? Really? Am I? Yes, you are. And I have a lovely, nice bed for you to come back to that's not in a hostel, if you'd like to. And they'd say, yes, thank you very much.
Honestly worked every single time. After that Jenga move was pulled, it was game over.
Bill's seen it. The Jenga works. So there's one for the...
How many different ways are there to build a tower of Jenga?
There's like 4.
Yeah.
There's like 4 different ways, but every time I'd be like, whoa, I've never seen someone do that. You're really creative. There's something unique about you, I can tell.
We're not saying actually build Jenga to play it. If we give you the Jenga blocks, what tower will you make?
Got you.
So you would build a totally different tower to me if we built Jenga right now.
Got you.
I did it with my current girlfriend recently, and she a very interesting way, and possibly the best way I've ever seen anybody build Jenga. And I was rather fascinated by it. She's really a wonderful woman, and but yeah, that's how me and Bill met, and then we just started hanging out all the time in Koh Samui. That's about 2.5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And here we are now in Bangkok. And amongst that journey, we started the New Elite, our network, over time. And Tom, about a year ago from now, you joined us.
I joined you in Bangkok, yes, when you were here, I believe.
How's life changed for you? What position were you in when you joined a year ago to now? How's life sort of changed for you? And what point were you at then?
Yeah, so I was doing the solo. I was with a mate, traveling, floating around, doing the Thailand stuff, tapping away at a laptop. But yeah, since kind of connecting with you gents, it was like, there's some other guys out here who are killing it and who are like hungry for more, for increase. And yeah, it's just being around that. I've met so many people. I plugged into Koh Samui shortly after, plugged into Koh Samui, met loads of people. Those are the guys in the network. And yeah, just operating at a higher level and increase.
And I met Tom for the first time in Bangkok, where we are now. And I remember I took you to this shisha bar.
Yeah.
We went to shisha bar together and it was fucking boiling hot. Can you remember?
It was so hot. And we were the only
Tom
ones
was
in there.
just sweating. And I was with a girl at the time, and I was kind of in my head just being a boy as usual. And my girlfriend at the time noticed that Tom was not sitting next to the aircon. I was fine and sitting next to the aircon. And Tom was just dying on the end of a sofa, just absolutely dripping with sweat. Fucking shirt soaked through. And she tapped me on the shoulder. She was like, do you think your friend should maybe move next to the aircon? I was like, oh, shit. Sorry, Tom. Yes, nice to meet you, sir. And please have the aircon.
Have the aircon.
Yeah. And when I met Tom, one very interesting thing about Tom, there's many interesting things, as some of you might know. If you haven't seen Tom's channel or Tom's Instagram, go and check him out. I'll link it under here, because Tom is, I think, quite a visionary in terms of the way you do online business compared to, he's not your average online business guy. He's a lot deeper than that, which I think is why we all get on so well, because we think in a different way, but also quite similar to each other. But when I met Tom, one of the fascinating things about Tom was that you decided to go sober for how long?
So I'd been sober for over a year when I saw you. But yeah, the commitment was until I was 30 years old, I was going to leave alcohol.
So how close are we now to a bender?
So, well, technically, I'm 30 in September, so...
We're getting close to just absolutely derailing Tom's train.
It will all go downhill after that. Yeah.
No, I'm joking. We don't obviously want to do that, and we don't particularly we don't drink that much. But I've always found it interesting to meet a guy that doesn't drink, and you normally find they're the best people. And you've probably seen, I don't know, tell the guys what changed in your life between being a young guy and partying, and what did you get out of going sober? Because I think there's probably a lot of guys listening. They like a drink on the weekends. They like a party. They think they can let their hair down because they've earned it. Yeah. What would you say to that?
That's, yeah. And look, alcohol's great fun. Like, no one's saying that it's not great fun. And you do some silly things with your mates. You make some great memories. But it starts to kind of weigh at, like, right, what cost? And if you have big goals, if you have a vision, if you have something that you want to achieve, getting rid of alcohol is one of the best things that you can do. It's like a clear intention that, hey, I'm going to work on my goals. And yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's not easy. I'm sure people have heard this, but alcohol is like the only drug that people judge you for not taking. It's so deeply ingrained in our society, how we meet people, how we interact, how we go on dates. But that's good because it forces you out of a comfort zone. It forces you to solve problems in a different way. Like if I take someone out on a date, we're not going to a bar because that's just going to be the worst. So where do you take them? What do you do? How do you do that? So it's giving up alcohol has been just wonderful for me. Like it has been just wonderful. I'm so happy now. Is you get rid of the ups and downs, you get rid of the spikes, and you're just much more consistent. You actually feel much more like yourself. It's like a coming home to who you actually are. And here's the thing that traps a lot of people. If you're drinking a lot, there's probably a lot of things in your life that you're actually not happy about, and you're probably using the alcohol to kind of mask them, to numb them a little bit. Now, initially, when you give up alcohol, those things are still there. Those things that you don't like about yourself are still there, and now they're in your face. So the choice is to either deal with them and grow, or to go back to alcohol, numbing yourself. So it's not like it's, that solves all your problems. It's like, no, it presents your problems, and now you have to take action to sort that shit out.
It's definitely a fascinating one. I've seen the largest periods of growth in my life from giving up alcohol and not having, like you said, the ups and downs. And the other interesting thing I found was you start to realize who you actually enjoy spending time with when you're not intoxicated, because you can get drunk with any idiot. You can get drunk with any guy and have a good time, go out and party, and you're friends for the night. But when I gave up alcohol, I was like, I actually don't like hanging out with this person sober, and this person's actually pretty cool sober. And I found some major impacts on my life through giving up the booze. Before we go any further, I have to give you guys an ad, a fantastic ad from my favorite people in the world. Oh dear, we've only got one box. Pause for a second and we'll come back for an ad.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Where's the interlude
you
music?
two talk about
To
something.
be fair, I've got a question for you about
go.
alcohol. Once Jack gets this box. So we've working together, hanging out together, training together. We've found it fairly easy to not drink because you've got that other person around you not drinking. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the audience who maybe don't have other people with them who are training, who are working, who have these big goals. But some people may not have that. So how have you found it? I'm presuming you went sober just by yourself. How did you find it going solo sober?
I think it's hard, but that's the point, because you're trying to change your reality. You're trying to change something. You've got to go through the period of isolation, and you've got to practice that current friendship group, whatever it is. There's people around you who are going, they kind of test you, but it's my birthday. It's whatever. Good. Those are the lessons. Those are the challenges you need, because it's like going to the gym and doing reps. You get used to saying no. You get used to doing your own thing, filling your own time differently. So doing it solo first is great because it builds the reps, it builds the muscle, and it builds the identity. And then once you have that identity, you attract what you are, right? So once you are that identity, you start to spot other people who are on a similar path.
True.
That's
you
big.
Inspire the others around you as well. Because when you find your identity, you're comfortable with who you are as well. Because when I was drinking a lot, it was because I wasn't comfortable with who I was. I didn't like who I was. So I was like, I'll just have a few beers tonight and just forget about all of that. But when you're... It wasn't a joke.
Yeah, no.
It was pretty serious. It was a really, really, really bad state. But yeah, when you are comfortable in yourself, people can recognize that.
Yeah.
And then they're attracted to that.
Yeah.
I think for anyone who's thinking about doing it, just do a month. Just set yourself a month, no drink. Maybe drink's great for you. Maybe it's amazing in your life. Maybe we're wrong and you can deal with your alcohol and it's not a big deal for you and it does make your life better. But do a month just to test and just have a look at some metrics. How did I do in my business? How's my physique looking? That's one big thing. If you're going to do it for any reason, the physique, you look way puffier, way unhealthier with the alcohol in the system. So you want to look ripped up, fucking give up booze for a month. You'll make way more progress. Just do a month and then see, okay, do I want to moderate this? Do I want to quit for good? For me personally, I haven't quit for good. I did the whole month for February, I drank a little bit, but it's not in my life as a regular thing. It's like occasionally if I'm with a girl and we've gone on vacation or we're on a private jet, for example, at this big moments and big things that I've kind of achieved in my life and I want to have some champagne, that's when I do it now. Whereas before, I think for most people, it's a hiding from the life. For me, it's a celebration. Let's G up a little bit. Let's fucking get things going. And I like to just only celebrate. And I don't always celebrate with alcohol, but that it's more of a celebration for me.
But you've got data, right? You've got data because most people start drinking at 16 and then every other week minimum they're drinking.
Yeah.
But now by doing a month, doing 2 months, you actually have data. You actually can make a considered choice because you have the data to make the comparison and go, right, what is better for me?
Yeah, test your data. You don't have to be fucking gay about it and just you don't have to make it gay, but you can just test your data and look at your life and see if it gets better. And that's what we want. We want lives to get better. We want people to be happier. We want people to give them their best self to the world. Now coming in on this pod with my favorite company of all, Top Shelf Grind. You may have noticed Bill's wearing a jumper right now, but he's actually pretty huge. 80 kilos now compared to, I mean, how many kilos have you gained recently?
About 11 kilos in 3 weeks.
11 kilos in 3 weeks. That's an excessive
Shut
amount of weight to have gained. But we both take Kingmaker and Alpha Grind. So Kingmaker is the testosterone support supplement by Top Shelf Grind. I love it because I only have to take this. I don't have to take other sups on the side. This gives me everything I need. And the main thing I've noticed, you get great pumps, you got more energy in the gym, but you get very horny with this. It's not on the box, but I've noticed that. You get super horny with Kingmaker. If there's any reason to take it, that's number one. You put in a performance, you can put in a fucking shift on this stuff. Pair it with the Alpha Grind. I haven't done that in the bedroom, but Alpha Grind's like a nootropic coffee. So basically it stimulates your brain and gives you a nice big boost of caffeine. I use it about 3 times a week. I don't use it every day. It is pretty strong. But the Alpha Grind is an absolute killer. So there's 2. Love the brand. Love the founder, Robert Oliver. He'll be on the pod soon. Good friend of mine. But yeah, if you guys are interested in Top Shelf Grind supplements, check them out in the link below. But guys, let's get this started. We need to play our theme song.
We need to play the theme song.
Tom came through yesterday and set up the pod, and he played this song, and I just thought we're having that. They can demonetize us all they want, but we're having that song. So let's get into the One Night in Bangkok podcast. Yeehaw! Buckle up, cowboy. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
I got a certain little girl, she's on my mind. No doubt about it, she looks so fine. She's the best girl that I ever had. Sometimes she's gonna make me feel so bad.
Na 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 na. And we're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back. Now I'm actually the producer of this show. So I've got a soundboard. I can do various different abilities. I've got various sounds, which I'm going to sample a few of them for you guys now, just so you know a bit of the structure of this podcast. So when we get a caller on, which we will do every week, we'll get a caller on, pretty much. And before the caller comes on, we play this song. So when you hear this song, there's a caller coming on. Welcome back to One Night in Bangkok. You're live on the greatest show on the internet, on the interweb. Train hard and get girls. Stop drinking. Read books.
Brush your teeth.
And brush your teeth. So there you go. You guys know when you hear that sound, you're going to get a caller coming on, and that can be anyone from the audience. So if you watch this and you want to I'll put a little thing on my Instagram. We're looking for a caller, and you've got an interesting story. Stay dialed into my Insta, and I'll literally call you and bring you straight on this show. And each week we're going to do a section on the news, which I'm going to begin now. And I'm just going to take the headlines. I'm just going to tell you guys what you need to know and what to ignore, basically. I'm going to decrypt the news for you. I haven't watched the news in about 4 years, so this is the first time I'm actually finding out what's going on in the world.
Yeah, what's going on out there?
Right now, but basically the top news that we've got in the world right now, plane in Heathrow made an emergency landing. Man United versus Liverpool, that's gone on. Japan brings an era of negative interest rate to an end with its first hike in 17 years.
That was solely down to you going to Japan.
I went to Japan recently. I went to Universal World. And I'm telling you guys, in my head, I'm a little bit of a child still, as some of you may have noticed. But going to Universal World was the best thing I've ever done. I went to Universal World, Harry Potter Land, Mario Land, and you just get to be a kid again. And I love that stuff. Anything that makes you feel like a kid and you're chilling out and enjoying yourself. That's, I think, one of the biggest things when you have kids. I think most people love it. And I don't know yet because I don't have any. But I imagine they love showing the kids what they enjoyed as a kid and reliving it again through them. What do you guys think about having children at this age and relationships and stuff?
Yeah, interesting.
Because I've heard Tucker Carlson say,
Have them
right now, even if you're 12.
18 right now.
Even if you're 12, he said.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't say that, but he did say, even if you're in high school, he said, even if you're high school, yeah, have a kid.
Did he say
You
that,
can't
did he?
afford it, you'll find a way.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I do like that. And I was speaking about this with someone the other day, and we were speaking about semen retention, nofap, all of this kind of stuff. And we were also talking about how guys, and I've been here before, how guys in relationships, they get very dull. Like a lot of the time, a guy in a relationship, he can kind of lose himself. He just becomes like 50% of the guy that he was. And
It becomes a little sock.
It becomes a little wet sock.
A little wet sock.
It becomes a little wet sock.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But that could be, potentially, here's an idea, could be because he's got the sex on tap now. Okay, so he's got the sex on tap all of the time.
He's getting his pum-pum.
He's got the girl. He's moved in. He's lost a bit of the drive. Now, obviously, there's ways to control that. So Google it. Sort out your breathing, and you can control that in the bedroom, and you can kind of keep that creative force.
Wait. Just go rewind a second. What are you talking about there with the breathing?
So you can. So you don't need to ejaculate during sex.
Okay.
And you can still orgasm.
Interesting.
Yes.
See, what have you ever done that?
Yes.
You've got orgasm without an ejaculation?
Yes.
Because I thought this was the stuff of fairy tales.
Yeah.
No, this is possible.
I knew it was possible to fuck a girl and not come, and that's pretty good. You keep your energy and shit.
Yep.
Keep your chi. Keep your chi in your ball sack.
Yeah.
You keep your chi in your balls.
That's where you want it. Yeah.
And you keep your chi there, and then you can use it for different things.
It is. But that is bang on. Like you bang on. It is your, as a man, that is your creative drive.
Yeah.
And if you're just spaffing that away in the bed sheets, even on your own, is the worst.
Don't
It's a
spaff
shame.
it in the bed sheets.
Do not spaff
Such
your
a
chi
mess.
in the bed sheets.
Yeah.
No.
That should be going on a girl's head.
Just on the head.
You might have just directly a dollop on top of their head. You might have noticed I've got some energy right now, and that's because I haven't had sex in 2 days.
Nice.
Shit.
Well done, Jack. Pat
stuff,
on the
man.
back, you good man. So just run me through, Tom, what that experience was like, and how the hell did you do that without
So
Squirting.
squirting your
without
chi?
me squirting. Yeah, I will. So it's a practice. It's like anything else. It's a muscle. I'm sure a lot of listeners will have read Way of the Superior Man, which is staple reading.
I have read that. It's been a while, though. I could do with reading it again.
So that's where I first kind of came into contact with that. And it's all to do with breathing and practicing breath work, one, throughout the day, but also during sex, connecting with the person, actually being present.
Yeah.
But also transferring that energy up the spine. So basically, the breath. Definitely go and read that book. I think he has like 2 chapters on it, and it's from like a tantric or a yogic breathing. There's another great book called, I think it's called The Multi-Orgasmic Man. There's a guy.
Sounds
who-
like a gay book.
Yeah, I was about to say.
There's a guy. He's been on a bunch of podcasts, and he's written a whole. I think that's him who's written his book, and I've kind of dug into him for a little bit as well. But it's all about basically the very.
You are.
Dug into him. The very basics of it is
What the
you
hell?
breathe through your nose and you breathe up your spine. You breathe in, you open up your stomach, and you feel like an energy transfer
Stop
up
doing
the
it now.
spine. And then you just kind of let it go back down again. And it's all to do, but the key is not just to do it during sex, you do it throughout the day. So when most guys who suffer with premature ejaculation, it's because they're very tense. They're not breathing properly throughout the day. So you want to practice throughout the day, breathing fully, opening, presenting yourself to the world through, how you're breathing as well. Really opening yourself up, and just practice that throughout the day. And you'll
Okay.
find if you have problems in the bedroom, that will help. That will help just by doing that throughout the day, practicing these full expansive breaths. But yeah, go dig into Way of the Superior Man. It's always a great read. I love listening to it as well. There's the audio, but the narrator on audible is just got the deepest, coolest voice. So I love listening to that book as well.
When you come to ejaculate and you orgasm up your spine instead, just explain to me, how does that feel compared to a normal one? Is it the same kind of feeling? Is it different feeling?
It's similar but different.
Okay.
It's obviously in the same ballpark, but it's different because you're going to keep going. It's not like, oh, it's over. It doesn't symbolize the end of the love-making session. You continue. And it's more, you're much more aware of your body. It's much more full body, and you feel much more connected. And look, girls are getting orgasm after orgasm after orgasm after orgasm.
Especially when they're in my bed.
Mine aren't.
But yeah, so this is kind of, it enables you to connect more deeply. And and bearing in mind, this comes from me learning about this because I was also the other way as well. And this comes from me like having painful experiences in the bedroom, which, where you didn't
When you got
last
tied
as
up
long.
and
I got tied up
with
I
the
was
belt.
dominated, all of that shit. No, that has never happened. It will never fucking happen.
That's what he's talking about, guys. Don't let him trick you. I've found the thing about girls is, I've noticed this through my career, is that they're often, I've never met a girl that's particularly happy after you've come. Like they want it to last longer, and obviously if you've done a couple hours or something, you can end it.
Yeah.
But I've always found girls are way hornier when you don't end, when you don't finish, and they've come a few times and you don't finish. So that's very interesting.
So if you read Where the Superior Man again, he actually describes this as they want to experience Shiva, which is represented as the divine masculine. And this is what sex really is. It's a union. It's a creative union. It's the most miraculous thing we do. We literally create new humans through it. And they want to experience, even if they say, oh yeah, come, it's time to come. The best thing you can do is not do it. And even when they say, and then that's going to have the opposite effect where they will most likely come when they tell you to come and you don't.
Tricksy.
Yeah, tricksy. But they want to feel like you are in control, so they're going to test you. It's a shit test. It's a shit test in the bedroom, basically there.
I'll give you another one on the premature ejaculation if you're struggling with that, which I don't. It'd be interesting to get your thoughts on this if you've struggled with that before, Tom. But I've always, if you feel like you're going to come, you pull out, you go to the Finger Blast 3000. If you don't know what the Finger Blast 3000 is, that's your Spider-Man fingers inside of the vagina, and you.
Oh my god!
If you're on visual, you're doing that. If you're not on visual, if you're just on audio, watch the visual. I can't explain it. But basically, I always would just pull out and use that and wait for myself to calm down. Did you have a problem in? Did you ever think about that before?
Yes. Yeah. I've definitely. Yeah. That's.
You use the Finger Blast
Use
3000.
the Finger Blast 3000. Yeah.
And maybe before in your life you didn't know about the Finger Blast 3000 yet?
No, I always knew.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I always knew. And if you're listening to this and you've got a problem with it, literally just, it makes sense, logical sense. Stop fornicating and put your fingers in instead. So there you go. There's actually some pretty big value we've just dropped there in regards to the bedroom stuff. Going back onto kids.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Sidetracked there. Tucker Carlson sidetracked us, and the kid thing. So Tom, you're 29.
I'm 29.
When's that on the radar for you?
So this was the point that I didn't finish making, was that. So guys who get dull, and this is why we started talking about premature ejaculation, guys getting dull over and over and over again. Let's say that you are having sex with your girlfriend in a relationship. She's on contraception, which is another thing as well, which maybe isn't something to look into.
Don't let them do it.
If they're on contraception.
Changes the brain.
Yes, and I was actually speaking to a friend, and it actually makes them attracted potentially to more masculine men because it gives them more feminine men.
I've heard it can flip them. Yeah.
Yes, more. That was wrong. The wrong way.
We've all got a smell, right? We've got a smell. If we don't wear deodorant, we've got pheromones.
Yeah.
Naturally, as humans, we have a radar device. A woman can smell a man, and you've probably had this before. Women that like to smell your armpits, right?
Yeah.
They like to, give us some of that musk. And they'll smell you. And I always thought when I was younger, I was like, that's a little bit weird. And but I've noticed that's very important because if they like your body odor smell, it means that you are genetically right for each other in terms of procreating and making children. So when they take the contraceptive, the thought is it flips their hormones so much that they're now attracted to a different smell. So you could have a girlfriend that's totally in love with you, put her on contraception. She may still stay with you because you've got a relationship together, but she's now attracted to different men, maybe more feminine men than you. And then when people procreate, they can find themselves, when they come off the contraception, with a person that the girl doesn't actually like the guy anymore, which is pretty interesting. But continue with your point.
That's bang on. And well, I think, and this is from my own experience as well, relationships in early 20s, I really felt like I lost purpose and I lost direction. And the minute I come out of them again, like I've been on a great path, get in a relationship, and I just kind of veer off purpose. And look, a good part of that is likely down to sex, having the sex on tap. And then, but this is to answer the question about kids. So if you're not practicing the multi-orgasmic man method, then...
If you're not jizzing up your spine...
Not jizzing up your spine. Spine jizzing, yeah. If you're not spine jizzing, I hope my mum does not ever see any of this. But basically, if you have a kid, or if you are using sex as you're supposed to be using it and making a kid, that's going to give you a bit more drive. That's going to give you your drive back. So if you're having sex and then your wife is pregnant, you're going to wake up in the fucking morning and jump out of bed and be like, or your girlfriend is pregnant, whatever, you're going to be like, right,
I got to get shit nailed down.
Shit done. Oh shit, I've got a kid. Oh fuck, I've got to double my income. Oh shit. It's going to give you that drive back again. And I think a lot of the dulling of men likely comes down to this. One, if they're doing it on their own, that's like lowest level, doing it their own with porn. And then, in relationships as well, so many girls that I speak to, so many girls that I've met through traveling as well, they're just like, all these guys are so feminine. I'm like they have a word for it. It's like he turns into like it's like a mum-child relationship.
Yeah.
He turns into a man-baby. That's what I say.
That happens.
I was speaking to someone on the plane the other day. They said exactly that. Like my ex, he was a man-baby. Turned into a man-baby. I had to look after him, do everything for him. He just...
Become a little chimp.
Becomes a little chimp.
Become a little monkey in the corner. That's an interesting point that a lot of guys probably think, I can't have a relationship because it's going to take me off my purpose. And I've found a very good and effective way of dealing with this in my system. So I now run relationships. Number one rule, boys, if you live with your girlfriend right now, start moving out. Start moving your stuff out. Because when you live in the same vicinity to each other, if we lived in the same house together, if we spent every fucking day together, we wouldn't like each other very much. Or we'd have arguments. So it's one of those things that stresses the relationship unnecessarily. So don't move in. Yeah, it might cost you a little more to get a second place. Trust me, it's worth it. Because she now gets to think, and this is the beautiful thing about the female imagination, you can never be as good as her wildest dreams. But when you're not with her, she can imagine you the way that she wants you. So when you're with her, you spend maybe 1 or 2 days a week together rather than the whole week, and then you go off and do your thing. Very little contact. That whole week she's thinking, 1, competition anxiety. Is he seeing any other men through this week?
Girls.
Which makes her... hopefully he's not seeing any other men this week,
God,
the little gay boy.
Orgasmic man.
He's not seeing any girls this week. That's thrown me.
It's the one thing I found when you see a girl less is they appreciate the time a lot more.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. Uncle Tate, he taught us that. The only thing you've got as a man is your attention.
Familiarity breeds contentment.
And relationships never die from... I'm terrible at quotes. Relationships never die from distance. They only die from claustrophobia, basically. Yeah. A relationship becomes stronger. Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes.
And it's for that reason. She can imagine you as the man that she wants. She doesn't know what you're doing the whole time. And then when you do see each other, you give her a magical time because you can take time away from work. You've done your work already. And then you go back to your relationship. So
yeah. And you're looking forward to seeing her as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's not become an annoyance for you. Another thing in your life, in a relationship with a woman, never let her become an annoyance for you. Never let her become a chore. If she's become a chore, there's no point in having a relationship. I guard very closely now my own time, and I make sure that if there's something I'm unhappy with, I say it and I do something about it. I'm always, as a man, one of the most attractive things you can be for women is selfish. Look after yourself first. And this comes from a place of looking after yourself first so you can look after other people better. But she does not want to be your top priority. She does not want princess treatment. Does this mean you treat her like shit? Absolutely not. It means you give her the time of day and you look after her chivalrously as a gentleman when you are with her. But it does mean that you look after yourself first. You
Yep.
become the number one thing in your life as a man.
Mission first. always.
Mission first, always. Find the mission, dial into that.
Because
Yeah.
you can kind of resent a girl not through, how should I word this? Not consciously, but if you're spending 7 days a week with her, you're thinking, right, I'm focusing 50% of my time on business, 50% of the time with her, probably more with her. And then your business starts to go, this was like my exact story. It's like my business started to go down and down and down. And it was like, I'm spending more time with her, thinking, oh, more time with her, she'll like that more. But I was half present with her,
Yes.
half present with the
Yes.
business, and essentially both fail.
Yeah.
As
Ex-
opposed to 5 days a week business, 2 days a week with her, 100%, everything grows.
Let's think about how our tribes worked in prehistoric times. Is we would spend all day with masculine men from young, going out and hunting and doing the things that men do, and then we would come back to our women in the evening. There would never be a time that we'd spend all the time with them. Women fell in love with their men because they'd go out and they'd hunt and they'd be masculine, and then they'd come back to the woman in the evening. And I think that's the way to run relationships now, is in that similar fashion. You need a group of brothers around you. You need a group of masculine men. Amazing things happen when you spend time with guys that are at a higher testosterone level than you. They say that women's period cycles match up and men's testosterone levels rise together. So if you're with the boys and they're fucking around these inspiring guys all the time, you're going to boost your testosterone. You're going to get that backbone. People become spineless when they become a wet sock and their girlfriend doesn't respect them anymore. They become spineless, and your brothers reignite that in you.
Yes.
That's what I find. But spending time with my brothers reignites that in me. It gives me a better frame to go through relationships with.
I love that, man.
Agreed.
Love that.
I'm trying to think what's the best book I ever read on dating, but I think most of my stuff's been learnt from experience.
I've got an absolute killer one that's
Yeah.
I tell it to people, and he was kind of popular maybe like 10, 15 years ago perhaps, is a guy called Coach Corey Wayne, and he wrote a book called The 3% Man. And it's a fucking unbelievable book. I've actually learned so much about marketing from that book as well, because it's all about attraction. It's all about how to attract by working on yourself. And he's such a great guy. He's got this great kind of energy about him as well. And yeah, that book, How to Be a 3% Man, absolutely nails attraction. He clearly has read David Dieter's stuff as well, How to Be a Superior, The Way of the Superior Man. But yeah, that is an absolute awesome book. All of his stuff, his YouTube channel as well. He does like call-ins where guys email him with their dating problems and he gives advice. He's awesome. 3% Man, Coach Corey Wayne. It's an absolute gem. It will change your dating life, and it will change how you view yourself as an attractor, and what that actually means, and how to go through life attracting opportunities to you rather than going out and searching for them.
What do you think builds attraction with women? What gets you women? What have girls attracted to in you, and how have you cultivated that as you've gotten older?
So the deepest thing that a woman can be attracted to, it's, yes, looks are very important. From my experience, looks are very important, of course. If you're out of shape, all of this, you need to have everything in order. You need to have your pillars in order. But the thing that really, in an instant, gets them attracted to you is your depth of presence as a man. How present and comfortable with yourself are you in that moment, that when you can hold eye contact with her and you can be there with her? Because women are so much better at being in the present moment than guys. We're like, oh, I'm doing this and this, and I've got this going on. And that's why it's so beautiful to have a woman in your life, because they just come in and
they bring your presence.
They bring your presence.
That's a very, very, I understand that completely.
Yeah.
That's why I love spending time with my girlfriend, because when we don't think about the outside world anymore. We have this presence and come into the real world, just into the moment, whether it be in sex or hanging out, that kind of stuff. It's very interesting.
They experience life and the emotions of life so much more vastly and deeply than men do on a day-to-day basis. And they feel you. Yes, they were initially physically attracted to you. Oh, yeah, he's in good shape. Clearly, he looks like he's got something going on. But that depth of presence, they can feel that when you initially see them. And that is the thing that needs cultivating, is your depth of presence. And that comes from having a clear purpose, having a clear direction. That's the other thing as well, is you need a very, very clear direction, because she's going to be either jumping in the car and you're driving. She's jumping in the car and she needs to like where that's going.
Yeah.
So But if you stop driving, kind of your point there, if you kind of stop focusing on the road where you're going, she's like, well, why am I in this car? Where is it going? Where's the car going? I got in this car. You were supposed to be taking me here. What's going on? And then that's where arguments, whatever, start happening. So you need a clear direction, and you're not going. That's your drive. Whether she's in that passenger seat or not, that's where you're going. But she's choosing. Will she jump in? So I have this analogy that I use with my mate Dan, and we call it building the island. So as a man, your focus is on building your island. So men are like islands, girls are like ships. Girls are like ships and men are like islands. We can't fucking move. We've got our island. We're stuck here. That's it. We can't get on a ship and go to another island. So our job is to build our island into an island that we love. And that's your life. Where are you? What does your life look like? What's your income like? You need to make sure that you love being on that island. Now she, as a ship, is going to come in and dock and be like, oh, this is a sick island.
This is nice.
I could stay here for a little bit.
I could see myself getting fucked here.
Exactly. For life, yeah. But here's the thing. If you stop building your island, or you, as most guys do, a lot of guys do, and I've done in the past, you start building your island to please her or what you think will please her, then when she leaves, you're left with an island that you didn't actually like, and you've got to knock stuff
you're
down
left
and
with an island covered in fucking flowers and shit like that, fucking Barbie Central. You're like, oh fuck, we need a renovation.
Exactly.
Burn the island.
It's the man cave.
Yeah.
Keep it as the man cave. It's crazy when men get houses, they let women into their homes, their girlfriends, relationships, what have you, and they let them take charge of everything in the house. Oh, let's put this here. We need this picture. That's not how a relationship's meant to be. This is your palace. She can have her room. She can have the thing that she does. But this is, you are not, as a man, sectioned off into the man cave, your little room in the corner because you're a little spineless sock. You are the emperor and the king of that castle. And what you say goes. And the way we build that into the relationship, which I've found to be the most important part, is you have your set boundaries, your direction, your rules, and you're willing to either walk away or she accepts the rules. And if she doesn't like your rules, she doesn't want to live on your island, she's more than welcome to take a ship to another island. But the island doesn't change. Yeah. The island stays the same, and you are still the king of that island.
That's absolutely right. And I would maybe add to that as well, that there's that phrase like a woman's touch. As a man, just because a woman has an idea, it doesn't mean that if that idea is a good idea, you have to make the decision whether you're going to accept it and then take it and go like, yes, we're going to go forward with that. But it's when you let her control it. It's a subtle difference. It's not like, hey, everything I say goes. It's like, hey, they will see things that we don't because they experience things differently. If they want to, hey, this, that, and you go, actually, that's something that a perspective I didn't have, something I didn't see before.
That's a wonderful idea.
Then, okay. But you're making the decision, and that decision is on you. You made the decision. She didn't make the decision. Yeah. But it's not, I think that's maybe like a subtle thing there.
I agree. And I think even when your girlfriend, most of the time, a girlfriend, partner, anyone that you're dating, they want to be listened to. They want to be heard. This is not a thing where you turn around and just say, no, my way or the highway. You don't listen. You always listen. And then you put it in a way where you're sweet and you're kind, and you can appreciate her ideas. You can appreciate her point of view. You can say, look, that's a really nice idea. I don't think that's quite right for us right now. And you direct things that way. I try to be I try not to be abrasive. All of this stuff can be navigated very smoothly by staying calm as a man. It's one thing my dad taught me when I used to get a little bit raging as a kid. I used to lose my head, and he was like, never ever let a woman let you lose control, make you lose control. You always stay calm, you always stay centered, because at the end of the day, it's just a test. It's just a test to see how masculine are you as a man. Can you deal with my bullshit, or are you just going to let it throw you off your course? Then you have to stay calm and collected, so you never get angry, you never shout, you never do any of that. You just have your rules and you talk about it like humans. You don't accept arguments. It's one thing I say now. If an argument is beginning, I say I don't argue with anyone. So you can either leave or you can stay and not argue, but that's your choice. We're not going to talk about this any further. If it's in an argumentative way, if they say things inflammatory, if they're getting angry and riled up, we don't argue, we talk, we have discussions as mature fucking human beings. We do not argue and fight with each other. That's not good.
You can never win that battle.
You can't, man. And at the end, mate, I can't tell you how many times I've said that. I've laid down the law and said, look, I don't argue. I'm totally calm. If you want to say that, you've got to leave. And they just fucking pounce on you. And they just fucking want to have sex with you. Because that's what they're testing for. Are you strong enough? And then you show them. And they're like, wow, I love him.
Wow.
Wow.
That needs to go on the
Owen
soundboard.
Wilson. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Let me just see
What we got?
some more of these sounds. The crickets can play that if I say a joke and nobody laughs. Yeah, he hit a home run.
That should have been
Yeah.
when we were doing the bit about sex.
Yeah.
Got premature ejaculation. Sucks to be you.
Want to get in bed and take Kingmaker and fuck like a champ? Yeah. Congratulations, son.
I don't know what else.
Can you remember your first time in the bedroom?
As the first time having sex?
Yeah.
Not just first time in a bedroom.
Yeah. So I grew up in a Christian family, very Christian family. So my first time was on as a teenager on a Christian church weekend away
Holy
on,
shit.
on the roof of the hotel that they had
Oh
booked.
my god.
With
That
another,
is horny.
Yeah, that was all the
Horny little Christian kids.
yeah,
Oh,
so,
shit.
Yeah, we were rebelling.
With a female, right?
With a female,
Yeah,
brother.
not with an older man or something like that.
No, I know that does go on.
That
It
wouldn't
wasn't,
be
you know,
nice.
but no, it was not that.
Man, that's awesome. That's a crazy way to lose it. Actually, how old were you?
15.
Wow, it's been killing it for a while. I was 16. I was 16. My parents were in the house.
Risky.
Remember, my brother came in halfway through. Get the fuck out of my room! I don't want to play Lego with you right now. I'm experimenting with having sex for the first time.
If you turned around and were that formal, that would have been the funniest moment of your brother's life.
Excuse me, little brother, but can't you see I'm fornicating?
How was it?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It was my first time. It was nice because I liked the girl and we stayed together. It was the first girl I had a proper
Was
relationship
it
with.
her first time as well?
Yeah, it was her first time as well. But the first time, it kind of sucks for most people. You're doing something for the first time. You got to figure it out. And I've noticed a lot of guys, maybe there's someone listening right now, haven't lost your virginity yet, getting into your 20s. And I would just say don't fucking worry about that shit. And the way you fix it very quickly is most of the guys I speak to that have not lost their virginity yet and they're letting it get in their mind and build up into this big thing, it's like once you've done it, you'll realize it wasn't a big deal. And you'll start doing it with people, hopefully not all the time, but you'll start doing it with people you like, and you'll realize it wasn't a big deal for starters. And anybody who's had sex doesn't care if you're a virgin or not. Like guys, I mean, like if somebody tells me they're a virgin, I'm like, big fucking deal, man. It's like a fucking very small part of life. Just you'll figure it out. The way you do that is you have to start having contact and communications with women. Most of these guys, they've never spoken to a girl or they've never had a date. Just start at the beginning. Most of the guys are thinking, when I first meet a girl, I've got a banger right there.
Yeah.
Build a relationship with a woman. Start chatting to women. Just chat to the girl that gives you your coffee. Start getting comfortable with women. Then book in a few dates and give yourself a time frame. This is what I would say. Rather than thinking I'm going out for drinks with this girl, I've got to seal and deal it tonight. I've got to get her back to the house. Give yourself a 1.5 hour time limit. Have a couple drinks. Focus on having a 1.5 hour conversation or having a good time together, and then excuse yourself to go back to work and do whatever you need to do and follow up with her after and see how the date went. And then you get a quick perspective on, well, is this girl interested? Does she want to see me again for a second date? How did I do on my date? Do I need to improve my dating? Or maybe she'll come back and say, yeah, let's do a second date.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to get comfortable with that woman. For the first time you ever have sex with a girl, it's not going to feel normal to take your fucking clothes off and get naked with a woman for the first time. It's going to be nerve-wracking. So I think it's a good thing to build a relationship with a girl when you do it for the first time.
And I would say as well, make sure it's someone you actually really like as well. Like I think we've kind of passed a lot of the just get your numbers up as like a lot of guys when they're younger. It's like actually make sure that when you're looking back, you're like, yeah, I think they're fucking cool. And then you're never going to regret it.
Yeah.
Like, so don't just do it drunk for the sake of it, and make sure they're fucking awesome. And then you won't regret it also.
I'd say make sure they're all right. Make sure they're all right.
Make sure they're all
They
right.
don't have to be awesome. I mean, it took me a while to find an awesome girl. But make sure they're all right, that you like them, and ideally somebody that's not banging everyone in sight.
I missed that step.
Oh dear. What have you done,
Lib.
Billy boy?
It was just someone I knew,
Oh, that's good.
not really friends.
Just did it for the sake of getting it out of the way
Did
and
it for
doing
the
it.
sake of getting it out of the way.
And how old were you when you did it?
15.
15 as well? Jesus Christ. I'm a rookie in this game.
I know.
I'm actually younger than both you guys.
You are, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the youngest on the pod.
I forget that. I'm actually 43, for those of you
Yeah.
who don't know.
He takes this special medicine and
Yeah, it's the Kingmaker.
yeah, the special kingmaker, and it makes him youthful. But guys, that's about. I've got to go and do a call now. I've got a new elite member that's just joined, and I need to do a call with him. So I've got to excuse myself from the pod. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully, you gained some value from that. It was a pretty interesting conversation, actually.
Enjoyed it, guys.
I was pretty impressed with our communication skills right then.
So the amount of caffeine we've had.
Yeah, man, I felt pretty dialed in. We just got Mario Kart as well. We just got a Nintendo Switch, and we've got a 100-inch TV through there with 4 controllers that's calling our name. So, boys, we've got to go, but hope you enjoyed the pod. That's One Night in Bangkok. You come see us every week. We'll drop it down for you. Tom, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Bill, it's been a pleasure.
As always.
I'll see you all the time. And, and guys, if you want to check out either of these guys, they've both got YouTubes, they've both got Instagrams. They'll be linked underneath the video, so just go and have a clip, follow these guys. Both got a huge amount of wisdom going out daily on Instagram, going out on YouTube. I understand sometimes my YouTube isn't for everyone, but maybe you'll find guys like Bill and Tom that are more your style. So go check them out. It's been a pleasure, guys. Let's finish the way we came in with this epic song by Deep Purple, Hush. That was awesome. We're the new kids on the block, but not for long. We'll teach them how to do it.
I got a certain little girl, she's on my mind. No doubt about it, she looks so fine. She's the best girl that I ever had. Sometimes she's gonna make me feel so bad.
Oh, no. Everything's falling apart.
The song's ending. I was gonna air guitar.
Air guitar with a real guitar.
Let me just air guitar this shit. Get off my laptop. All right, let's end again. This time I'll perform for you guys.
Well, we are going to have to learn the song.
So, you guys can't hear it, but it sounds awesome.
I got a certain little girl, she's on my mind.
Brand
No
new
doubt
technique,
about it,
that.
she looks so fine. She's the best girl that I ever had. Sometimes she's gonna make me feel so bad.
Killer.
Oh, Jesus, man, that was a solo right there. Just ripped a frickin' solo.